lot of times when you're in the college or outside the college, you may not be able to know what are, there are different types of companies, there are different types of jobs. Okay. In colleges itself, you have many colleges, IITs, NITs, okay, regional institutes and private engineering colleges, top private engineering colleges, tier 2 colleges, tier 3 colleges, tier 4 colleges. So you have many universities. So you have different types of things there, but do you really know what type of companies are there? Okay, what type of jobs they offer, and how do you choose which company or which job is good instead of just benchmarking that companies, whoever is paying good money is a good company. Okay, so this thing is particularly to dismantle a lot of ideas on what type of companies exist and how what type of jobs they offer, and how do you choose and identify which job is what, and then which job fits you. Okay, so let's go little deep into it. Okay, so we have divided. Okay, so I have divided this thing based on the type of work that they do, based on the size. I have divided these companies like product companies, okay, so solution companies, services companies, and service-enabled services companies. Let's, at a broad level, I'm categorizing companies into product companies, solution companies, services companies, enabled services companies. By seeing the name of the company, you will not be able to figure it out what type of a company it is. But let's understand what are these companies, what they do, what type of how do you understand these companies. And then based on the size also, you can understand what is an MNC, what is a large Indian company, medium company, small company, startup, which is bootstrapped, startup, which is funded, and how do you differentiate the different types of jobs that these companies offer. So let's look at what a product company, typically product companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Salesforce, Sugar CRM. These are all the companies that we call them as product companies. GlaxoSmithKline, okay, and many, and in fact, Toyota cars, all of these guys produce products. Okay, these companies produce products, and the demand for resources on them is very, very high. And so solution companies, what are these solution companies? Solution companies are, they take, product companies create products to solve some problem. Okay. Solution companies approach people or companies that have got that problem and try to take the product company and keep selling to them. Okay. They give solution. Okay. To give you a classic example, all the pharmaceutical companies, they continuously do a lot of research and identify what is the disease, and do a lot of research on the body, and a lot of chemicals they use it. They do research and find out a medicine for curing some disease. Okay, so pharmaceutical companies mainly are product companies. But what does a doctor do? Doctor is a person who gives solution to the patient's problems by using these products. Okay, he knows that this patient has got so-and-so problem. For this patient, from Dr. Reddy's, this tablet has to be given, and from Glaxo, this tablet, and in these portions, okay, so apply it for 6 days, and then you get cured of your disease. So solution companies are some guys who understand a lot of problems of customers. Their customers can be individuals or companies. Okay, if a company is doing directly to consumer, we call them as a business to business and business to consumer. And if they identify, they use multiple products, or they use one single product. So for example, our company is a Sugar CRM partner. Sugar CRM continuously does a lot of research on the CRM market and builds its products, adds a lot of features to it. And we, as a solution company, try to understand these features and also try to understand different industries' problems in the sales automation area, customer support automation area, and try to use these features, customize these features to suit the individual customer, like how a doctor suits. So whether you want to take half a pill or one pill for 15 days or 1 month, etc. This is the doctor who decides. Same way, solution companies will decide what is the correct product for him based on his price point and features that are available and customize it. Okay. So product companies and solution companies requires tremendous amount of thinking. Okay. If you have thinking faculties, okay, if you build your thinking abilities and you fit very well into solution companies and product companies. But are there, okay, what is the next level? Next level is the services company. In services company, you have to well define what you wanted, and the services company delivers exactly the same thing. They don't understand what is your major problem. They know that, okay, so this is what is the one, and this is defined. You have a well-defined things that needs to be delivered, and you deliver it. And services companies typically charge based on the number of hours that a resource is spending on it. Okay, and then the more you go, the deeper you go, the lesser the price. Okay, there is a price competition in the services companies, and enabled services is something like call centers, customer support centers, and distribution centers, and dealerships. All of these things will come as enabled services, where you deliver all these products and solutions to the end customer for a fixed fee as well as time. So now look at it. In product companies, there will be very less number of products. Okay, so let's understand. In product companies, you only have very less number of companies. And in solution companies, for example, Salesforce is one product company, and building on Salesforce solutions, there are probably a few thousand companies which does Salesforce implementation. So Sugar CRM is a product company. There are about 600 plus partners who deliver Sugar CRM solutions. So for every one major product company, there may be thousands of companies which are surviving on giving solutions. And then services companies are to scale these solutions. Okay, you require services companies. Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, all of these companies come under 80 to 90% services and 10 to 20% solution. They do provide solution, but 80% of their business runs on services. They quote, I can give you 100 employees for this and 6 months, and then you pay me this much per employee. And there is more and more price going down for them as things go well. Okay. So in enabled services are nothing but knowledge workers. You call anybody who is working technical support or non-technical support, you call them as knowledge-based economy or knowledge-based companies. There you find a lot of call center executives. They are called knowledge workers. Okay. Try to understand the difference between in any IT-enabled services. If you are working, you are called as knowledge worker. But anything above, in a services company, solution company, or product company, you are called as a professional. Okay. The difference between a worker and professional is, a worker, if he works for fixed time, 8 hours per day, if he works, it's more than enough. After that, even though you want to work, they won't allow you to work. Whereas anywhere a professional is there, you are supposed to deliver the task, not the time. Okay. This is what the difference. And so try to understand, when you are looking for a company, you try to look at whether this is a product company or solution company, services company, or IT-enabled services company. That's one very important thing. In services company and enabled services company, and the biggest challenge is the jobs go to the place where cheapest labor is available. Okay, Infosys, once it has become expensive in Bangalore, they move to other cities. They will go to other cities. They will go to even other countries wherever the resource cost is very, very low. So anywhere you see services companies and IT-enabled services, the jobs move to the low-cost destination or given to the youngsters who are just getting into the industry. Either way, low cost drives them. But product companies, what they do is, everything products, they keep it in one place. San Francisco Bay Area, Bangalore, a lot of product companies exist. But the moment they solve the problem, and if they want to scale it, they outsource it to solution companies and services companies. Again, anything that is easy to do, repeatable, if once they establish, they push it to other companies. So you need to understand these product companies and solution companies. But another catch, in the next slide, I'm going to bring those things. So on top of that, you also can categorize the companies as MNCs, large Indian companies, medium companies, small companies, startups which are bootstrapped, startups which are funded. Okay.
Based on the size, you mean?
Based on the size. Okay. So MNC and large Indian companies, what they have is they have tons of money. Okay. They have tons of money and they have budget and they have plan. Okay. Because a company becomes, from small and medium, a company becomes large or MNC once they establish extremely stringent processes and they define for every task one single person, single role, and they define for each role what task needs to be done. And once that is established, they become large and MNCs and they have plan for it. Okay, they grow. So that's the reason you get an offer letter from one company, large company, and say your joining date is after 1.5 years. Okay, but if it is a small company, he says, can you join tomorrow? The difference is, if a large company, MNC company says that, okay, I give you offer letter, but within 1.5 years, I'll tell you when to join. But a small company says, boss, can you join tomorrow or next week? Okay, if you say I will come after 3 months, I'm not interested to wait.
Right.
This is the major difference. So what is the work-wise, what kind of a differences will be there in small companies and medium companies and in MNCs and large companies? MNCs and large companies, your job is well defined. Okay, and it is task oriented. Okay, and it doesn't require too much of thinking. I definitely say there may be thinking that is required, but not too much of thinking because they have already planned what you need to do, how you do it. Whereas in small and medium businesses, it's exactly the reverse of it. They will not have too many people defined for each task. So when you join, you may be exposed to multiple skills, multiple areas, and you have to learn and do it because there may not be another person who can train you, who can give you. They can give you guidance, but they will not be. This is where you have a huge learning opportunity. But the money wise, they don't pay you just like that. They pay you value for money. Okay, how much value you are bringing. Okay, and based on that, they pay and they give you an opportunity and improve you based on how hard you work and how you produce your work and how you acquire skills. Based on that, they keep increasing. So I'll give you a classic example. In our company, we have seen employees who joined us at 10,000 stipend per month. And within 3 years, they have gone to 50,000, 75,000, 1 lakh, 1,25,000. Within three to 5 years, they've moved. But look at the other way around. If you go into a services company or service-enabled company, you may be joining at a higher price of, let's say, 20,000, 30,000. But after 3 years, you may at the max go to 30,000 to 40,000 or max 45,000. In IT-enabled services and other services companies, the growth is not there because you will not be able to showcase that, okay, so you are able to produce it because it's a time and material. Okay, so these are the subtle differences that you need to understand. And again, startup funded, startup bootstrapped. Startup bootstrapped is basically they get revenue from customers and they pay salaries from that revenue. It is bootstrapped. That means you pay whatever you are getting, not somebody else's money. Startup funded means you raise fund, you get funds and do it. So here also the value for money, if you work for a startup which is bootstrapped, you will gain a lot of skills and you will be paid based on the outcome that you are bringing in, not vice versa. Okay. So let's look at what is this in terms of understanding these companies. So in a product company, I'm seeing here, I've identified 4 or 5 companies. Let's say Apple, Microsoft, Salesforce, and GlaxoSmithKline. And Apple has got overall last year 164,000 employees, and they produced $394.33 billion revenue. Okay, please watch this number. 1,64,000 employees, produce $394.33 billion. The next company that I listed is Microsoft. Microsoft has got 2,21,000 employees, but they produced $198 billion. They have more employees than Apple, but they produced almost half the revenue of Apple. Look at Salesforce. They have exactly half of what Apple has, and they produce $32.18 billion. Same thing, GlaxoSmithKline. They're also at the same line, 70,000 employees, $31 billion. So the product companies take lesser and lesser employees, lesser and lesser number of employees, and produce more income per employee than the other companies. Okay, I have not put the solution companies here, but let's look at the services company. Infosys has got 3,43,000 employees and producing $18.2 billion revenue. If you look at the 70,000 employee company here, it's almost like 5 times, okay, but it produced less than half the revenues of what SmithKline Beacon has done, right? And TCS also, it has got 600,000 employees, just $27 billion. And IT-enabled services, if you like, Quest Corporation, which is the largest employer in India and Bangalore, one of the largest guys, they have more than 500,000 employees, but $1.8 billion. So there are more jobs here and less expectation on the revenue that you put. The solution company and product company, they have lesser employees, but more revenue is expected, or more quality is expected. So when you are choosing, try to understand which is the company that I'm aiming for. And typically, I don't suggest, if you are a very thinking person, if you are a very learning person, I think solution company and product company is good. But if you think that you're not that kind of a person, probably you can look for services company.